Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. We're once again going to be working on the Bilt lawn tractor. It's a 2006. It's a pony. Yeah, see right there? Pony. So we've done so many videos on this lawn tractor. It's unbelievable. You know, it's old. So now a new problem has popped up, is the carburetor started flooding out. Last year I was having problems with the carburetor. After the mower sit, it would fill up the cylinder. So this has a 17.5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton engine in it. So what I did to fix that problem is I went ahead and I put a shutoff valve right here so it wouldn't fill the gas up, so it wouldn't fill up the cylinder with gas. Blech. So this year it's just flooding and gas is pouring out of the vent and filling up the cylinder. And I dropped the float bowl off and looked at the float and the needle and seat, and it all looks good. And G Junior here said that Terrell Fixes All said, don't even try to rebuild these carburetors, you got to replace them. So we went on our favorite place, Amazon, and we got this whole carburetor kit. We've got the carburetor, which appears to be correct, 2 spark plugs, even though this one only takes 1 spark plug, a new shutoff, a new fuel filter, a new air filter, which actually is the right one for this, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And then some miscellaneous parts, choke, gasket, some hose clamps. And I don't know if this is a fuel line or if this is the vapor line. I'm not sure. But anyway, hopefully that is the right carburetor for this.
Oh, God.
What do we got, G Junior?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know, it's going to be nasty. So he's taking out the air filter. Pretty nasty. You know, we do a lot of leaves. That's all from the leaves from last year, but I know we blew it out. We're going to fire up the air compressor, and we're going to blow and clean all the stuff out. And it looks like we're going to have to get this cover off. So it looks like there's a bolt here, a bolt over here, and a couple bolts here, and we'll take this whole cover off so we can access the carburetor. Actually, before we stop to do that, let's just take a real quick look here and make sure that this does look like the proper carburetor. So fuel in, it's got an adjustment here, there. I think everything looks good. There's that vent tube, which is basically the PVC line. Gas was just pouring out of here. This is a Nicky carburetor, and it actually says Briggs & Stratton. It's got a Briggs & Stratton emblem right there, but it does say Nicky. This could had a other carburetor. Do you know, was it a Walboro?
It was a Walboro.
Yeah, Walboro or a Nicky. And the Nicky carburetor has a bolt-in float bowl, where the Briggs & Stratton still has the nut at the bottom of the float bowl. So it appears that we have gotten the right carburetor. So let's get this top cover off and we'll clean up the air cleaner assembly and we'll be right back. Let me get this cover off. Alrighty, so you don't even need to take the bolts all the way out. You just need to loosen them enough so it's past the plastic. These were actually 3/8 bolts, and then these are torque bolts. There are T45, and then this we had to take the oil cap off, and that should just lift on out. So there we go. Go ahead and put the oil cap back on. So here we are at the top of the carburetor, and of course this is split. I don't know, I don't have one. This is the crankcase ventilation line. I guess I'll just have to black tape that up. Where's the new carburetor? New carburetor. So let's take a look at the linkages. All right. So you can see here the linkages appear to be correct. We've got the black one here, and we've got, that's the choke, and this is, or is that the choke? Nope, that's not it. Anyway, they appear to be right. We've got a piece of linkage and a spring, another piece of linkage here. We have the fuel line, and then we have some bolts to take off here. Let's, we took and cleaned the machine yesterday with a pressure washer, but you can see we didn't get the very clean in the back. Where's that 3/8 wrench? In his hand. So let's see, are these 3/8 or are these bigger? Nope, these are bigger. They're probably like 11s. I need a pair of needle nose and like an 11 millimeter wrench. It's probably 7/16. And did I say needle nose? Yeah, bring me the needle nose. All right, it's got a wire connection here at the bottom of the carburetor that just unplugs. It's pretty tight. Needle nose, give me that. Here, why don't you take the camera? Keep an eye on the battery. I'm having a lot of problems with batteries lately. The batteries don't seem to be lasting very long. The original batteries from my GoPro are getting kind of old, so they're not working real well. As you can see, my fuel filter is nice and clean. I don't think I'm going to change the fuel filter because I just did that. So there's the fuel line. We'll get that up out of the way. And hopefully, yes, it's 11 millimeters, which is the same thing as 7/16. We'll go ahead and take this off. There's the one nut. All right, I think I'm gonna need an 11 millimeter socket and extension and wrench. If you could get that for me, please, G Junior. Let's see. So that is actually a hook, but if you look right here, that just slides out right here. So we're not gonna have to worry about taking that out of there. We'll just take this out when we take the carburetor off. This one, we're gonna have to take off when we get the carburetor out. All right, yeah, get in there and get that, G Junior, thank you. All right, so here is the intake elbow. Oh, we're also going to change the oil, but we're going to clean all this stuff. We're going to clean that up. All right, so let's see what we have to do next. Okay, needle nose, and here, you want to grab the camera for me?
God, the gnats are terrible today.
Yeah, I know. It's April 17th. Oh, it's the Mustang's birthday, right?
Yes, it is.
Happy birthday to the Mustang. The Mustang was introduced on April 17th back in 1964. So it's the Mustang's birthday. All right, excellent. So let's see, are we going to be, I just noticed this. This has smaller nuts here, or this is a bolt that holds this carburetor in. You know something, I think we're going to have to take it off down here so I can get this linkage released. So let's, first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect this spring. So it's got a spring wire here that runs back to the governor. So I got that disconnected, just gonna let that flop. This is 3/8. Yep. Let's go ahead and take it apart here. Now, unfortunately, if we ruin any of the gaskets, we might not have enough gaskets, because I'm gonna pull this intake manifold off, because I think it's just gonna be easier, because I'm not gonna, what do you think? Do you think, now those are studs, aren't they?
Yeah.
If I take this out, do you think I'm going to be able to get the carburetor? I've never done one of these, but it can't be that hard. Let me, all right, let me run and get another tool for that. All right, are they 8s? Yeah, they're 8s. Oh, okay, so we're not going to have to take, I don't think we're going to have to take the manifold off. Let me go ahead and just tighten this bolt back up so we don't damage anything. Okay, that's tight. So it looks like this must be a nut, they're studs. So this stud is going to unscrew. Excellent. So there's one stud. And then this stud's going to come out. All right, yeah, we don't have to mess with that other stuff. Tell you what, I don't know how I worked on cars and lawnmowers without gear wrench. These things have just been excellent. All right, so there is the next bolt. Get that out of the way. So, like I said, this piece of linkage is just going to slide out of there. It's already slid out. Then this one here, we're going to have to tilt up like this to get it out of that linkage. And there we are. There is the old carburetor off. And it looks like this gasket came out clean. So all we'll have to do is get the next carburetor. This looks pretty clean. This is going to be a problem. I do not have a new one of these, the crankcase vent, so I think I'm just gonna clean this up the best I can, and we'll wrap that with black tape. So let me get that wrapped up with black tape and get the gasket and everything. Let me see, does it look like the throttle bores, the bore is the same? The bore looks the same, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and then that looks the same, yeah. All right, so let me clean this up and get some black tape around there because I do not have a new one to put on there. And, you know, it just is a slide fit. It just blows into that elbow. I don't think it's very important, but we'll black tape it up and make sure it's not leaking. All right, I just went ahead and black taped this up so it doesn't fall apart. I guess I'll have to get a new one. That is the crankcase ventilation hose. No big deal.
Probably can't even find one.
Probably can't get one, so it's probably better that I just taped it up. Okay, so this carburetor sat on there this way, and this is, I do believe, the choke rod. So this comes off like that. So we'll grab the new carburetor and we'll put it in the new carburetor just like that. And that's the hole it was in, right? Yep, it was in the last hole. You got to pay attention of what holes everything was in because it could mess you up. So that is in the right hole. There's only one hole here for the other linkage. I have the gasket here. So it's kind of a balancing act. So we're going to go ahead and try to get this back through there. Okay, there's that. So now which way we sit? This way. This sits this way. And now you're gonna need a pair of needle nose. I'll just go ahead and do the spring now if I can. Might need two hands. All right, now let me come here. So the spring goes in that hole right there. And I might go ahead and just bend that spring a little bit so it's tight. There, that's better. Okay, so that just sits there. The choke rod falls down and it just slides down in there because a piece of the linkage comes up and hits that. All right, we're rolling along here. So now we have our gasket and our very long stud bolts. I'll go ahead and put one through here and get it started. And grab the other stud bolt and get it started. All right, there we go. Looking good. Looking good. Bink. 8mm or 5/16. We're just gonna snug them up. So real quick before we go on, just right here. So I'm gonna put the throttle on high and then throw the choke, and that seems to be working. Like I said, this comes up and hits the choke lever. The choke's closed. We're on full speed. Put that down. That's the governor. So that's going to be working when the motor's running. So that's right. All right. So how is? Let me see. Oh yeah. See, that lets the governor. Oh, there's the governor has just tightened that up. So yeah, it's working. It's working. That's idle, and that's full throttle. So that's all that's working. All right. So. Well, we didn't clean the elbow up yet. We need to clean this elbow up. And there's a rag. It's pretty clean inside. That's what matters. You know, the outside, this machine's going to get filthy dirty, cutting up leaves and grass and everything. I can't. As long as the inside's clean, that's all I care about. All right, so this has an O-ring here that's pretty well smashed, but I don't care. So like I said, the PVC crankcase vent plugs in here. There we go. That looks really good. Put that back on. Probably should have cleaned that up a little bit better, but oh well. Put that back on. Put this back on. Let's use. There's that. There's that. All right. Like I said, the fuel line here has already been replaced. I mean, the fuel filter, so I don't think I'm going to replace the fuel filter. I think enough fuel flowed through here the other night. And we'll go ahead and put the clampy back on. Now, the reason why there's a clamp here is this clamp would not hold tight enough the fuel filter, so I had to put a screw type clamp. So that's just a spare clamp. Don't let that bother you. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and put the top back on, and we're gonna go ahead and change the oil because I know I got some gas in the oil, and we probably should change the plug. I have a plug if it's the right plug. So we're gonna put the spark plug in, we'll put the lid back on, we're gonna change the oil, and then we'll come back and try to start it to see if we have to do any type of adjustments on this. Must be the adjustment right here for it. So we'll be right back. We're gonna put it all back together, we'll come back. Okay, we cleaned this up. As you can see, it's wet. We hit it with the hose. So there was a screen in here, but the new filter, so this screen was in there, but the new filter came with a new screen that's got all this foam. So does that mean this foam has come apart and went through my engine? I don't know. So I have to figure out which way to put this in here. So the air comes up in here, comes through the filter, and then down into the carburetor hole, I do believe. So I guess we'll put it in like so. We grab the new air filter. It goes here, just like that. This is what locks it. So yeah, I think that's the way that goes. The foam goes towards you, and then this filter goes in there like that. And then we have the cover, which I didn't realize wasn't on a hinge. It just pops out. So then this pops down in there. This comes over. Oops, let me get you a shot of that. This comes over, latches, pushes. All right. So this is all on. T45, a 3/8. Oh, down to 24%. Okay, well, real quick before the battery dies, I'll go change the battery again. If you're looking for your model number and your serial number, it should be right here on top of your valve cover. It's very hard to read. Sometimes if you take and get it a little bit wet, it'll be easy to read. It's also on this sticker over here. Sometimes you can't read them. So we are looking for our sucker. We're gonna suck the oil out and put fresh oil in, and we'll be back and see if it starts up and runs. All right, so G Junior has my sucking contraption I built like 20 years ago. He's just sucking the oil out, and it actually does a pretty good job. Just a vacuum, and you have to use glass or it doesn't work right. It'll just crush the container. All right, go dump that. All right, so when we come back, we will try to fire her up. Alrighty, G Junior just finished changing the oil on it, and let's go ahead. We don't have a lot of gas in it, but that should be plenty. So we'll turn the gas on, and I see gas a-flowing. Hopefully the battery's not dead. This thing sat all winter. We did put it on the charger. We changed the spark plug. Where's the original spark? So here is a Briggs & Stratton emblem spark plug of a Champion RC12YC. I do believe this is the original plug. I don't think I've ever changed a spark plug in this as long as I've owned this mower. It always starts up and runs. Why change a plug if it always starts up and runs? So we ended up putting a Hypa BK5ECU in it, and it looks like the center electrode's a little bit longer on it, but it was the same length otherwise. All right, G Junior, let's see if it runs. Full choke. Sounds a little rich. Seems like she's running a little bit rich. Okay, well, it doesn't seem like it's running very good on this carburetor. And if this is the idle speed adjustment, I think I had it run all the way in, and it was still running kind of bad. And I changed the plug. Yeah, that's the idle adjustment screw. So, did I get a bad carburetor? So that's why I had him cut it off. Let's just cut it off and let it sit for a second. And all right, go ahead and fire it up again. Let's see if it runs any better. Yeah, it's running rich. I can see the exhaust. Put it on idle. Let it idle. That's idle. All right, hold on. All right, bring it back up, down. Alright, shut it off. Well, there's only that one adjustment on this carburetor, so I guess maybe I got a bad, cheap carburetor off of Amazon, because that's the only adjustment is the idle mixture screw right there. Let me put the old spark plug back in it, just for ha-has, and we'll come back. But if not, that carburetor is definitely junk. So let me put the old plug back in it and see if it runs any better. All right, we did a quick plug swap. I don't know. Go ahead and try it, G Junior. You have the choke on? Junk. So the carburetor I got from Amazon obviously does not work very well. It is supposed to be the right one for this mower. It is the knockoff brand. It's not another Nikki. I guess I'm gonna have to order a Nikki carburetor. So that was a fail, but at least I got an air filter out of it and a pre-filter out of it and a bunch of parts. Actually, I think I might just go ahead and keep it because of all the nice accessories it came with. But there's definitely something wrong with this carburetor, and Terrell Fixes All says you can't rebuild these. They don't work out right. So we are gonna have to go back online and see if I can find the proper carburetor for this. And I will let you all know in the comments once we get the new carburetor if that fixed it. But I do believe this Amazon carburetor is no good, and it is the right one for this model. So, all right, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching the fail. Please subscribe. You could always do that in that corner there. Please give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you don't like my and more part of the channel. Anything to add, G Junior? All that work for nothing. Sometimes it doesn't pay to go aftermarket. If you can still get the original equipment parts, which I don't even know if I can get the original carburetor, a Briggs & Stratton carburetor for this one or not, but we will try. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching along on the fail, and we will catch you on the next one.